All right, this is John Hansen with the Florida Physique Report. We are back with Sheridan Hause, who is a men's physique pro competitor, and you competed this weekend, right, at the Tampa Pro Show?
Absolutely, Tampa Pro. Tim Gardner puts on a great show.
Yeah.
So I was here last year, and I had to come back and do it again.
Yeah.
So,
when did you get your pro card, Sheridan?
It was 2012 Junior Nationals.
Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
So that was a busy year for me. I think I went to pretty much every national show that year.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Wild and Fire Academy. So it was interesting.
Oh, you were in the fire academy while you were doing that?
They hated me because I kept running off and grabbing my food, and they're like, "I hope that doesn't come back up in your mask."
So, how long have you been training now? Like, what got you into weight training and into wanting to compete and stuff?
Well, basically, I mean, through soccer, growing up in sports, but realistically, a Gold's Gym back home was part owned by Dave Marinelli, IFBB Pro.
Yeah, I remember him.
He caught up with me, changed some of my training. I got into powerlifting through some other coaches.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So I went to states in powerlifting when I was young.
Okay. How old were you then?
I was 17 when I went to states for my
Wow.
high school.
Okay.
So, cool. Played football, and then when I went off to college, I got into sports conditioning and some other classes besides my major.
Okay.
Really kind of fell for it, you know. Decided that engineering wasn't where I wanted to be, and it was more so the personal training and physical aspect of life. So came back home, touched base with Dave Marinelli, also Tammy Brodensky, who was a national competitor, and mentored and shadowed underneath them, and they put me in my first bodybuilding show. Okay. As a lightweight, and that was the Gold Cup. Okay. And, from there I just kept going.
What year was that now?
That was 2009, November. Okay. So I was second there in lightweight, and then I came back the next year to win it, and then also a couple other shows that I won as a lightweight, but I wasn't happy with that size, so I was having an off season. And Physique just came out, and he had like 30 competitors at that Gold Cup, and he pretty much threw me a badge and said, "Hey, go on stage." And what do you mean? So that's where that struck. The part, so. Okay.
So you started off with powerlifting, and then you went into bodybuilding. So did that give you a good base? In the powerlifting, I know a lot of good powerlifters who come over to bodybuilding. They've got a little more mass and thickness because of the heavy lifting. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely had some advantages with that, just because I was trained to lift heavy. Right. And different types of techniques to put on that strength and size.
Right.
So,
right.
And being that I was having a surplus of calories to to help with that was also great too. So the thickness in the chest and the back was there. It was just a matter of getting the core tightened up and learning the nutrition part of it. So,
yeah. And then when you started training for bodybuilding, obviously you had to train differently because you had to develop all your muscles and stuff.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Now, how does the training from going from bodybuilding to men's physique change? Is it pretty much the same, or do you change it?
I would say it's about 80% the same for me. Now, there is times I change it up. I do have a kind of a protocol for if I'm 12 weeks out or 8 weeks out, 4 weeks out. Right. In my style of training, timing, volumizing, time under tension, all that good stuff. So all in all, it's still similar to what I did with bodybuilding. And I miss bodybuilding.
Oh, you do?
I miss the routine. And it was, so I'm stuck with that. It's and plus being that I'm one of the smaller guys trying to keep my size to be competitive, being there's no more broken up classes for me. Yeah. I can take advantage of that and still lift heavy and still do things that maybe some of the bigger guys are toning down. Okay. So
so someone came in from bodybuilding going down to men's physique, they
especially
have to lose
the ones that were in
heavier
weight classes. Yeah. Where I wasn't. So I'm kind of in that category of I can still do my traditional training and not have to sacrifice to come into a show.
Now, there's certain things you try to emphasize with your physique, with men's physique?
I've obviously, my biggest thing is trying to get my shoulders that full roundness compared to some other guys. Yeah. That's been my weak spot, I would think.
Because they're looking for that V taper.
Right.
Yeah.
Now my taper's always been good. I have a wide back. So all in all, when I come out, it's just more so trying to show that I do have that roundness to me. Yeah. I don't need to skimp on food coming into the show. I mean,
still got a fast metabolism?
Really fast. And that's been the kicker for everything, and why I've actually, everything up to this year has been done by myself. Okay. When I went to Physique, my Dave Marinelli and them said, I don't know what to do with you. You did it, so go do it.
Yeah.
So from that point, the last 2 years, I've been all my nutrition myself, my training and everything.
Okay.
I finally took a step back and asked for some help from some friends, and you know, Team Physique took me under their wing and said, you know, they worked together with me, so I give them what I've done, and we've tried his way, and then we compromised and found what's been working.
Okay.
But as soon as I start feeding the carbs, it's like I'm full, and I'm shrinking. I'm full, I'm shrinking. So it's a game. It's really hard to get it right. So you know, feeding into a show is a big deal, and learning how to catch it.
Yeah. So your problem is not really overspilling and coming in too smooth. It's just coming in full enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't found a show that I've spilled yet, and I think the last show we've done 3,200 carbs into the show 3 days out. It was, you know, it's one of those things where it's like he's even scratching his head at some point, going, "How can we slow your metabolism down?"
Right. How old are you now?
28.
Okay, so you're still really young, yeah.
So you know, it's been a fun journey, and I don't think I'll stop. You know,
right.
It's just fun being up on the stage with those guys, regardless. So
now, as a pro, how many times do you compete every year, or does it vary?
Last year was 8, and this was show 7. So you know, we're going to Dallas next week, and that'll be the 8th show. I'm right now at 5th for the qualification for the Hause. So
is it the top 5?
It's the top 5.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they don't take the tie break. They have to break it somehow.
Yeah.
So that's the goal for this trip. You know,
okay.
To make it happen. You know, there's no Florida guy that's been to the O last year.
Okay.
No
really?
FloridaPhysique guy that made
That's
it.
interesting.
So I'm looking to be the first one.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Now, how do they do that with the points? You just get points 1st through 5th?
2nd through 5th will get points. 1st is automatic.
Okay.
So, and if you're tied, they take your best, whoever has the best finish. So, you know, I've had a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th.
3rd, 4th, and a 5th. Okay.
For this season.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where that falls.
Okay.
Tied right now with someone that has a 2nd. So technically he'll go.
Right.
So
right.
We're gonna try to.
What did you think about the show this weekend? Because it was a big show. I mean, all the divisions were really packed with talent.
Big show, great show. Everyone came with absolutely everything they could. So all in all, you know, it wasn't what I wanted, but you know, I tell even the people that I have trained in the past that, you know, if you're in it and you're gonna get aggravated with it, then you're not gonna stay in it. So for me, it was a good time. I had a lot of good time with friends afterwards. I have a lot of people, and with physique-wise, everyone's pretty supportive. You know, Sadiq and all them, Antoine, all gave me props and all said, "Hey, keep going for it."
That's cool.
That's a big difference from bodybuilding. When I competed, I noticed backstage, and even afterwards, no one wanted to talk to me. And I like to communicate, talk, and have fun. And so I will say that's been something that's been keeping me going in the circuit. Right. You know, I hope this is the last one before the O, and if I don't, then I'll probably take a break till we have 2 more Florida shows. Okay. We have Fort Lauderdale Cup, and then Diana Cadeau is putting on a show also.
That's later in the year, yeah.
Yeah. They both are back to back actually. Okay. So it's the 18th and the 25th. All right. So and they're both in my backyard. So
FloridaPhysique will be there.
Yeah. So I'll see you again. So
now, when you go in a big show like that, can you do anything to stand out when there's that many competitors? Because they're lining these guys up, you know, 10 at a time, and I know you almost feel like you get caught in the mix, you know.
Right. No, you can, and you know, I try to stand out as much as I can, being that I'm one of the smaller guys. Yeah. And showing my width to waist ratio, and you know, posing wise, being smooth, but you know, and not over dramatic, but enough to catch the eye. So right. And depending on who I see out on the judging panel, I kind of tailor my posing to them. Okay. I've noticed that a good bit. Okay. Because it's still kind of up in the air on what they want. You know, so, you know. How did you learn how to do the moves and stuff? Did you do that yourself, or did somebody help you with that? Well, I think my stage presence all stems back from the first bodybuilding show I got thrown into. Okay. It was a fight or flight. I didn't have no prep for it. Yeah. Someone just said, "Hey, you should do bodybuilding," and gave me I was actually prepped for the Gold Cup, but I did a show right before as a fitness. Okay. And they threw me in bodybuilding. So, you know, that my stage presence on stage, my posing, never had a chance to get nerves built up into it. Same thing with now. I don't get nervous on stage. I just do what I have to do. The posing wise, I came up with it. Then I had, you know, just a second. I look at it, you know, female perspective, male perspective. what they think from a lower level, because when you pose yourself, you're posing into a mirror. You're not posing to the judges that are at your feet.
Right.
So I definitely tried to, you know, get other people on the lower playing field and looking up at and telling me, does that look the same or not?
Yeah.
Transitions are smooth.
Yeah.
You know, the count in your head and so forth, so you don't rush it.
Okay. Okay.
So all in all, you know, I came up with a pattern for myself, and then obviously, you know, the biggest thing going through national level is I always got my critique. Always made sure if I was in front of that judge the next time, that the critique they gave me is the one that I came with.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest thing, I think, is,
okay.
you know, listen.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
now, how many national level shows did you have to do before you got the pro card?
it took, so it was on my 6th one that I turned
6-1,
Yep.
okay.
So Team U was my first one, and that was quite a trip between bad food, first time traveling, lost my luggage, canceled, they gave my hotel room away, so
wow.
that was 7th out of like 30-something guys.
Okay.
And then after that, it was 3rd place all the way up till I finally got it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So, you know, it was interesting. It was fun though.
How did you feel after that first one when you got 7? Well, 7 out of 30, that's not bad.
You know, I was discouraged. I came back home a little, you know, puppy dog face and so forth.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got back in the gym, I had Dave Marinelli, Amanda Marinelli, they're both the pros in the gym, just basically picked me back up and just said, listen, you know, that's the sport, keep going.
Yeah.
With that atmosphere, you know, it helped push me. So, and all in all, the 3rd place finishes, I think if I would have went pro right away, I don't think I'll have the physique I would have now.
Yeah.
Because even now, the not placing and, you know, I'm in here, I just want to go harder. So it basically keeps me motivated to not, you know, relax.
And then taking the 3rds had to be sort of encouraging because you knew you were up there. You were really close. Yeah.
Okay. So, definitely. You know.
Yeah.
And the judges, just their critiques were so minuscule, but it was like, okay, I guess I could see that. So I'll just make sure I get that next time.
Yeah.
You know,
so did you think your physique improved a lot in those 6 tries?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as far as what I was originally bringing to the table to what I brought for my
final
pro
win.
Everything was, you know, actually it was a little smaller, drier, and then when it came to that show, I just was happy to be there. I didn't let stress bother me pretty much.
Yeah.
And I came in fuller, just as tight, and that was the winning touch.
Yeah.
You know.
And we were talking before. You said that you actually got first because some of these pro qualifiers it's first or second.
Yeah.
But and you sometimes were taking 3rd, just missing 2nd.
Yep.
But then when you finally did get it, you got first. So that had to feel good too.
That felt amazing. And then even when, you know, prejudging was over and, you know, you get all the comments and you're like, oh, you got this and etc. And then in my mind I was like, okay, well, I've been here before and I know how it goes, so I'm still gonna just stay on track, you know, keep my head in the game, go back for the evening show and try to come in even better, so there's no
doubt
flipping.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, it worked out, and absolutely coming in first was so much better than you know. I mean, regardless, it's a great honor to, you know, move up in that level.
Right.
But just having that, and on top of that, doing the overall with Sadiq and Trevor and a couple other guys that were up there was also a great, you know, fun time too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's interesting what you said about how you were relaxed when you finally got it. I competed for many, many years myself, and I noticed the same thing. This shows that you're feeling the pressure and you're stressed at. Usually you do bad, you know. But then when you go in like well, I did the best I could. Whatever happens, happens. Those are usually when everything works out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. When's the next one?
Next week, Dallas.
Oh, next week. Next week in Dallas. Okay.
So I'm back on it. I'm here for a few hours.
All right.
So,
yeah.
And then I'm gonna head to Orlando, and like I said, Eric and I are gonna train, deplete through the week.
Right.
And get ready to get out into Dallas on Thursday. And I'm actually glad I get to go out Thursday. Show's Saturday. I want to have time to settle in.
Okay.
You know, relax into the show and hopefully come in, you know, like I said, stress free and you know, instead of rushing everything.
That's a big part of it. Having the stress down. Yeah. For sure.
And I've noticed that through this year and some of the flights I've gotten delayed and being stuck in airports and flying, you know, holding water a little bit here and there. And I've never experienced it before because the flights were fine and I was in early enough on time, but
the weather's so crazy now. You don't know what's going to happen from week to week, you know.
No, not in Florida. You know, we were sitting here in Tyson Sunday to go to the airport, and all of a sudden it's just dumping rain.
Right.
You know, everything's restricted.
Or other parts of the country wherever you're going to. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Layovers in Georgia. So it was a fun trip though.
All right, Sheridan, well, we wish you the best of luck
Yeah,
next
absolutely.
week. We hope you're the first Florida athlete to go to the Olympia. That'd be great.
Yep, I
So
appreciate
hopefully
it.
you'll get the points and you'll make it.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
See you soon.
Okay. For Sheridan Hause, this is John Hansen for Florida Physique Report, signing off.